Hello and welcome to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. My name is Navaneli Omari Kaniki and I am the Executive Director of CSense, a locally registered NGO that works with marine wildlife conservation and ecosystem management. We are absolutely pleased to be part of the WCN Fall Expo 2021 and we are thrilled to have this opportunity to share more about our work. Karibu sana.
Hello everybody, my name is Lindsay West and I'm the CSense Technical Advisor. Let me join Navaneli in welcoming you all to the Wildlife Conservation Network Fall Expo 2021. This is the first time that CSense has participated in the Expo, so as Navo said, we're really thrilled to have this opportunity to share our work with you. The CSense mission is to promote the sustainable use of marine and coastal resources in Tanzania for the preservation of marine biodiversity and the health and prosperity of coastal communities. Ocean health is inextricably linked to the survival of marine wildlife such as sea turtles, dugongs and whale sharks, as is the well-being of coastal people who rely on healthy marine ecosystems for their livelihoods and food security. We achieve our mission by targeting the conservation of marine wildlife and their habitats in order to generate benefits for both wildlife and people. Our work is focused around 4 key thematic areas: research and conservation, education and outreach, sustainable livelihoods, and governance and leadership. We recognise that local people are the rightful guardians of nature, and our role is to equip them with the skills, knowledge and capacity to conserve marine wildlife. Our work first began in Mafia Island in 2001, which is a marine biodiversity hotspot within Tanzania and supports the largest population of nesting green turtles in Tanzania. It is our work on sea turtle conservation that we'll be sharing with you in our presentation today. Sea turtles are protected by national fisheries legislation in Tanzania, although they've been harvested for their meat, oil and eggs for generations. And they are also threatened by fisheries interactions, marine pollution and climate change. Their populations reduced dramatically in Tanzania, which was the real catalyst for the establishment of the Sea Turtle Conservation Programme back in 2001. Our approach to addressing these threats was to engage communities directly in sea turtle conservation. We recruited and trained a network of community conservation officers who live close by to nesting beaches. They conduct daily foot patrols of the beaches in their locality to monitor nesting activity. When they see the turtle tracks in the sand, they follow the tracks to locate the eggs. If they find that the nest has been laid in a high-risk area, for example, it's at risk of predation by wild animals or at risk of inundation by the incoming tide, then they will relocate the nest to a safer area using internationally approved protocols. This involves measuring the width and depth of the original nest so that the exact same nest can be relocated in a safer area. This is very important because the conservation officer needs to ensure that all of the eggs can fit into the relocated nest. The eggs must be handled very, very gently so that the delicate embryonic membrane is not damaged during the relocation process. Once the eggs are relocated to a safer area, the conservation officers will monitor the eggs during the next 55 days. That is the average incubation period for green turtles. When the hatchlings are ready to emerge, the conservation officers will monitor the nest very, very closely to ensure that the newly emerging hatchlings are not predated by birds, ants or crabs. The hatchlings emerge from their nest, and once that emergence process has been completed, the conservation officers conduct what is known as a post-hatching excavation. This involves digging all of the sand out of the nest and counting the eggshells that remain in the nest and any eggs that have not hatched. This allows us to calculate the hatching success, that is, how many of the hatchlings successfully emerged from their eggs. It also allows us to calculate emergent success, which is the number of hatchlings that successfully emerge from the nest onto the beach. The survival rate of sea turtle hatchlings is very low due to predation, so it's very important that we are able to calculate hatching and emergence success so that we are able to assess the effectiveness of our conservation measures and maximise hatchling production on nesting beaches. Following from early successes in Mafia Island, we have been able to scale up our community-based sea turtle conservation programme. We started with 6 conservation officers in Mafia Island in 2001, and we now have a network of 36 conservation officers who patrol nesting beaches at all major nesting sites in the country. And they really have done an amazing job. Over the past 20 years, they've monitored and protected more than 6,800 turtle nests, which has enabled more than 528,000 sea turtle hatchlings to safely reach the sea. Harvesting of eggs has decreased by 80%, and there is widespread community support for the sea turtle conservation efforts. This is really, without doubt, due to the tireless commitment, hard work and dedication of the Conservation Officer Network, many of whom themselves used to fish and trade in sea turtle meat, but have now become ambassadors for conservation in their communities. These successes have enabled the establishment of a sea turtle ecotourism initiative, which is generating important revenue for communities living close to nesting beaches. As well as monitoring nesting activity, conservation officers also collect data on sea turtle mortalities. During the course of their daily foot patrols of nesting beaches, they may encounter a turtle that has stranded onto the beach and shows evidence of entanglement in fishing gears, or perhaps its meat has been taken for consumption. This kind of information is really important as it helps us to identify communities that are still consuming sea turtle meat, but also identify areas that are high risk for fisheries interactions. Sea turtles breathe air and therefore need to surface frequently. Entanglement in a fishing net can therefore be fatal for a sea turtle. We have used this information to target our education and outreach programs more effectively, and over the past 20 years we have trained thousands of local fishers on techniques to release entangled turtles from fishing nets safely.
Mimi naitwa Omar Kondo, CEO wa hifadhi wa viumbe vya baharini, kasa, nguva, pomboo. Kwa hiyo shughuli yangu mimi kwa kila siku kuamka asubuhi na kutembea baharini na kumkuta kasa. Kama ametaga kasa, ninachukua mayai na yahifadhi, na kama nikimkuta kasa amekufa, shughuli yangu kumpima, ana futi ngapi, upana ana futi ngapi. Nikimaliza hapo narudi nyumbani, napeleka ripoti hizo katika shirika la CISES inayoshughulika na habari ya viumbe vya baharini. Kisha hapo tunapeleka ripoti mashuleni, shule za msingi, shule za sekondari, kutoa elimu ya kasa, wanatusaidia vipi na inatuletea mali vipi na faida zake kasa. Hata kwenye mikutano ya hadhara ni ya kijiji, yale ya kila baada ya muda wa miezi mitatu, tunamuomba kiongozi, tunatoa elimu. Matokeo sasa hivi ni mazuri. Kwanza upunguaji wa kuliwa kwa kasa kwa wananchi hakuna, na matokeo mazuri. Wavuvi wakiona kasa wanatuletea taarifa kwa tuniohusika, masio tunioshulika na viumbe hivyo. Kwa kifupi, mafanikio ni mazuri, sio kama siku za nyuma. Sasa hivi kasa aliwi na wananchi wakiona kasa wanatugaia taarifa. Ina maana kwa kifupi, wananchi elimu ishawakolea vizuri sana.
We have also established a research program which is helping us to understand sea turtle behaviour and population dynamics. During the peak nesting months of April and May each year, conservation officers conduct a population assessment which is helping us to understand population trends. We have also participated in a regional study of green turtle migratory behaviour, and the results of that research has shown that sea turtles in Tanzania utilise foraging grounds as far away as northern Somalia. Since sea turtles are highly migratory, this kind of information is really important as it enables us to improve our collaboration with countries in the region. Also, an understanding of movement patterns and habitat use across all life history stages is crucial for the development of effective conservation and management measures. All of the information generated by the conservation officers, the nesting data, the mortality data and the migratory data has been compiled and has resulted in the declaration of the central Tanzania coast as a site of regional importance to sea turtles under the auspices of the Convention on Migratory Species. This declaration has been really important as it has enabled us to leverage greater government support for sea turtle conservation in Tanzania and serves as great recognition for the hard work of our conservation officer team. Finally, one of the most important aspects of our sea turtle conservation programme is community education and outreach. SeaSense uses a variety of innovative approaches, including community theatre, school campaigns, focus group discussions, marine wildlife roadshows, and community events on World Sea Turtle Day and World Oceans Day. We train community members to deliver conservation messages to their own communities using drama, art, and song.
Kuna matumba wakasanguva na pambao wanaoishi ndani ya bahari. Mwenyezi Mungu ameijalia nchi yetu ya Tanzania kuwa na aina 5 za kasa, ambao kasa hao ni kasa kigome, ng'amba, kawaida, noa pamoja na duvi. Lakini ni aina 2 tu ambazo zinapanda katika fukwe zetu kwa ajili ya kutaga, nao ni kasa ng'amba pamoja na kawaida. Kwa nini tusiwatunze kasa hawa? Kwa nini tusiwalinde kasa hawa kwa ajili yetu sisi na vizazi vijavyo? Ndugu zangu wa Tanzania, ndugu zangu wana Songosongo, tuna jukumu zito la kuwalinda na kuwatunza kasa. Asanteni.
Our aim is to raise awareness of the threats to marine wildlife and their habitats and improve understanding of the links between biodiversity conservation and sustainable development. We have a strong focus on educational entertainment to ensure that our messages are accessible to all members of the community, particularly women and youth who are often marginalised in coastal communities. Here is a short clip of our community theatre in action. The artists are raising awareness of the threats to human health and marine wildlife from marine pollution.
Haya mapempasi ya watoto, maji chupa ya plastiki hayo, maji lailoni na vitu vyote wapipeleka pwani. Ndugu yangu usivipeleke, utatuhusudi. Mna mabomba ya sindano humo. Pwani sisi unavyotujua kama kawaida kazi zetu watu wa Songosongo. Kila kukicha tuenda katika mwani. Mabomba ya sindano hayo na sindano zina kutu. Tukizikanyaga tutia tetenasi hujatuua. Cha kwanza hicho. Cha pili, hizo chupa za plastiki mama haziozi, sijui miaka 500, sijui miaka mingapi. Haya malailoni yako ukienda kuyamwaga pwani, sisi kuna kiumbe ambaye tegemezi kwa elimu tulioipata jana, maana kila siku tuagusiwa. Lakini jana umati. Mama kiumbe anaitwa kasa ndo tegemezi, na kasa kipindi anataka kupandisha kuja kutaga, akiyaona hayo malailoni yamefutuka juu ya elea, atayafuatilia ajua chakula chake yale makohozi ya nyangumi. Kasa kashilivamia lile lailoni limemnasa shingoni aidha mkononi. Huja mtafutia kifo cha makusudi.
Despite all of this great work that SeaSense has achieved in partnership with coastal communities, there is still much work to be done. We are working closely with the government of Tanzania to formulate a national action plan for sea turtles, which will provide a much more strategic approach for the engagement of a broad range of stakeholders in sea turtle conservation, including government, communities, academic institutions, NGOs, research partners. We are also working closely with community-based fisheries managers to ensure that they have the necessary tools and knowledge to be able to manage fisheries in their community for the benefit of marine wildlife species such as sea turtles and their seagrass and coral reef habitats. I'd like to close up this presentation by just saying a huge thank you to the coastal communities in Tanzania that are working so hard to conserve and protect marine wildlife, particularly sea turtles, and our network of community conservation officers. None of the work and the outcomes that we've shared with you today would have been possible without their tireless efforts and the way that they have mobilized their communities and generated so much community support for marine wildlife conservation is truly astonishing, and is real testament for their passion for marine wildlife conservation. So thank you for listening, and please do stay in touch with SeaSense and continue to spread the word about the importance of marine wildlife conservation. Thank you.